And we're live. Hey everyone, this is John Trent with Bounty into Comics. I'm joined by my guest host, Gary Buechler from Nerdrotic, and we're here to talk about Swamp Thing Episode 3, He Speaks. We had a pretty good, another good episode, but there were some issues with this episode. One of those was the patriarchy. Uh, like, just dive right into that. We had this one scene
Yeah.
where Avery's kind of like they introduced this new story element. Avery is actually not this rich, powerful man that we thought he was in the previous issues. He's actually up. He's like up into his eyeballs in debt, and then he's asking his wife, who apparently has a ton of money, that is somehow separated from him. He doesn't have access to, and he's asking her for money, and she's like, "No, you're cut off."
Avery Sunderland from this Swamp Thing didn't have his own money, and I have a problem. Okay, if this, and we talked about this a little bit. So this is the only problem I have with a great show, and it's stuff like this that if it was by itself in this show alone, or in one in like 20 or 30 shows, wouldn't have a problem with it. That happens in life all the time. Hell, my wife makes more money than I do. I don't beg money from her, but I mean, like that's life for some people. But Avery Sunderland is supposed to be the man in charge. And it really doesn't make him as threatening. And they had to follow it up with something which we will talk about later. But we know what this is. This is a reaction to the Time's Up environment, and in every instance, in every show, whenever possible, they have to show a woman in power over a man. Again, if it's done like half the time, great, no problem. I am so down with that. Or, a little bit more women sometimes, that's fine too. Don't really care. But it's in every damn thing I see now. Like everything. It's ridiculous. So it's a trend. I understand that, but it takes me right out of it. And it really does undercut his character in the narrative quite a bit. And it makes it, and honestly, it made worse. What he did later, which we will talk about, that's part of the story. Otherwise, it besmirches. I mean, there's another little scene too. Okay, with the I'm forgetting her name, but the sheriff and her son.
Yeah, the sheriff.
But I mean, this is a brilliant show. This is like a really well done, and you can really see the Ash versus Evil Deadness in it. I don't know if you watched that show, but you can tell there has to be the same people behind this, because it really has that feel in the effects and stuff, which were done so well. Some of the best I've seen on television ever.
It's not just the effects; it's the makeup.
Yep.
Like when her Harlan was in the hospital bed, and she was going in there to like do the new now, like even when he first was coughing up, and they literally pulled like the plant from his mouth. Like that was so cool. But then what really like stood out to me was when she was administering the new dose, where she was kind of like, I guess, taking away the antibiotics or whatever, to like, so his immune system wouldn't be fighting the disease as much. Like just like the stuff on his face with like the green like creeping in and everything. It was just like really, really cool. It's like, holy crap. Like they spent a lot of time just really getting the costuming down. And it's not just Swamp Thing or the bug. Who do you call the guy who is being possessed? I wanted to call him the Bug Man.
Yeah, I was like,
he was like the Men in Black
character, or is he,
yeah.
I wasn't sure. Is he like a deep cut? Did I miss something with his name, which I honestly could have? I mean, yeah, I did own a comic shop, but I don't remember every name. So,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. But it was goddamn cool. And yeah, when he melted, oh
Yeah.
dude. And they got me again with the jump scares. Like I usually don't do the jump scare thing. This show's got me 2 times in a row now. When the daughter showed up in the mirror, I was like,
oh yeah. And what was really cool about that is like even when she disappears, the mirror was still broken. So like she knew that it wasn't just like a vision. Like it was like actually like affecting the world. Did you catch that?
yeah, I did.
Yeah, that was just That
That
was
it
like
wasn't
so
it, it
creepy.
wasn't all her no, that actually happened. And that's why I love this show is like they're going the beauty of the Swamp Thing is like he's the monster in this horrid, scary world that they create, but he's like the ray of light too, and he's the savior, and he's like the one good person in this town. And God, they've captured it. They have, and it sucks that it's being canceled. And we get Batwoman. You
Yeah.
know, we
Yeah.
get
I mean,
Batwoman.
yeah, Batwoman, CW. Ugh.
Yeah,
But so, like, what was the other jump scare? Is it Xanadu?
Xanadu. Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
Xanadu.
that was a good jump scare too. And I was like, whoa, what's going on?
So this episode, we finally get to hear, Alex speak as the Swamp Thing. He still doesn't quite know who he is. I mean, and like I am constantly keeping in mind that this was supposed to be a 13 episode season. It's a 10 episode season now. We're in episode 3, and we probably got all the good stuff cut out at the end. I'm not really sure, but it seems to be working like narratively. Everything's moving at a good pace. I don't feel like anything is slow. I feel like I'm like pretty caught up with the story. I'm not getting bored waiting around. Even the potential boring character to me is not so bad. The reporter,
Yeah,
she's
Liz Tremaine. They added a
yeah,
lot to
she
her
yeah,
for her to
she's
do this time. This
yeah, she's
episode added a lot.
so yeah, there was actually it's very cinematic. It reminds me a little bit of it's got like a Buffy feel to it in a way,
Yes.
and most definitely an Ash versus Evil Dead feel vibe. Uh Strictly horror. The music's good.
Yeah,
Uh
we didn't talk about that last time, but Swamp Thing's theme song is so freaking awesome. Like that like low, like I don't know what would you call that? It's like a low thumping. I guess thumping is not the
yeah,
right word, but
but
it's just like that low, like it's like horror, but like it's also like I'm a badass. Like
it's
it's kind of
superhero
Vader-ish.
horror. Yeah,
Yeah,
my favorite thing in all of superhero comics are horror superheroes. So Swamp Thing, Man Thing, Ghost Rider, like Brother Voodoo,
Blade,
Werewolf by Night, Blade, all of the Midnight Suns, Justice League Dark, Constantine,
Constantine.
all
Yeah,
about it. That's
yeah,
my favorite thing, and they haven't really, aside from Blade, they haven't really adapted any of that, and I'm almost happy about that. It's kind of been kept sacred. But I could not be happier with how this has turned out, man. And it sucks so bad. And I don't know if Marvel's going to do this stuff. I know they're doing a couple things on Hulu, but like,
yeah. The Ghost Rider with
man,
Agents of Shield. Eh.
that's going to be basically their CW.
Yeah, that's
So
what it looks like to me.
yeah, it's not going to be, and Marvel won't do it in the films, and we all know why. It's because of distribution to China and the rules China has.
Yeah.
So
They try
yeah.
to do it with Netflix. I feel like, I mean, there's hints of that, like that the second season of Daredevil in the beginning with Punisher, um, and they try to like get into that, but I don't know if they did a really good job executing it.
They were close. That at the second season of Daredevil, things looked very hopeful, and then they weren't.
Yeah.
Then they just weren't.
Uh, but yeah, so I actually they added like so we talked about Avery a little bit earlier, but they added so much to his character in this episode. I mean, we had scandalous romantic relationships, we have shady business deals, we have him getting told like he's getting cut off, which and then do you want to talk about that final scene there at the end?
Yeah, it commits a murder.
Yeah.
So
Which which did you think he was gonna do that? I mean, it seemed like he was just like trying to threaten him, and then it just kind of derailed, and it was like a crime of passion. It's
it
kind of what
was
I
like
got.
that's pretty much it. He's feeling emasculated because his wife won't give him money. He's started maybe with good intentions. Like this whole thing sounds like he was trying to come up with some kind of cure because of the death of his daughter. But he's been pretty ruthless about it. He's got oh God, I'm forgetting the doctor's name. He's got him coming. He's played great.
Yes. I was surprised we didn't get more of him this episode. I thought we were going to get a lot more. We got that
No,
one scene, and now the two scenes, and that was it. him cutting up the dad who died in the first episode, and then I actually that I actually thought that was one of the better scenes in the show was when he
Yep.
had that like romantic moment with his wife, and she had just taken her pills, put them up on the fridge or whatever on that shelf, and then she's just like, "Where are my pills?" And then he went
Yeah.
over, and it was very, you know who it reminded me of? Dr. Freeze.
Very much so. And it gave him a layer other than because at first he was just looking like your typical psycho scientist, but now he's got a layer. Which so yeah, his wife has early onset Alzheimer's or something maybe.
Yeah, some
So
kind of dementia.
it's really sad. So behind every bad guy there's motivation, and I always love it when it doesn't justify it, but you know, Avery, obviously the daughter, and also yeah, with I gotta look up his name now because you know I'm bad with names, but yeah, having his wife, I thought that was really good. I thought that was really well done and pretty sad. And so that gives him motivation. These are why these two guys are both willing to sacrifice a town basically to find
Yeah.
these cures. And well, in the bigger picture of things, you know,
Well,
it might be
I don't,
justifiable.
I
Just a
thought
little
that
town.
Avery does care about the town. He doesn't want those people dying. That's why he brought the
Yep.
guy in to solve that. But now he's kind of devolved quickly, rapidly.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have to see how much I like that narrative choice because Avery Sunderland is supposed to be kind of like this, you know, financier badass. Now he's just kind of nothing. You know, he's like a middleman, a psychotic middleman. So Virginia Madsen, which maybe they should have just had Avery Sunderland be Maria Sunderland and just have her in charge
Yeah.
instead of her just being distraught about her daughter. But that's probably going to bring in something interesting later. So, and the fact that this show kind of goes there, this show does not hold back at all. That's what I love about it. Like, it's like we are going to embrace the comic bookness of this and do it damn near perfect. And you know what holds it together? She's not the greatest actress in the world, but she doesn't bring the character down. And this was my worry because of current environment in Hollywood. We can't really write women with any complexity at all. So they're usually just blocks of wood, being perfect, doing perfect things, and things happen around them. Is Abby Arcane, played by Crystal Reed. She does a pretty good job. Again, she's not
Yeah.
like, you know, setting the world on fire, changing, reinventing the wheel, but she does a solid job as basically the lead of this show. So, and yeah, you know, and Andy Bean, when he was Alec Halden, he's probably just going to be in like flashbacks now and stuff. He was pretty good
Yeah.
as
Well,
Alec Halden.
that opening scene though, I don't know if it's really like a flashback. It's like he's kind of like in a memory or something
Or
almost.
in a different realm.
Realm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, especially like some kind of spirit realm.
Yeah. He's able to like access it through his mind, it seemed like.
Yep. And well, it's always been, you know, implied with the Swamp Thing, and I told you this last time, is like it's not really Alec Holland, and
Yeah. It's
it's
a
a Swamp
clone.
Thing with his memories. But does that make it him or not him? That's you know, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. But so one of the things that another thing that like kind of stood out to me, like we were talking about all these different layers, but they like it wasn't just like one or two characters that got like new layers and more depth, and they did it in like these short scenes. So even that Xanadu scene, we got so much more on Blue Devil, and then we got I mean, they're just like fleshing out these characters even more and more, and they were doing it in like these short clips, and I thought that was just something that's can take other episodes like or other shows multiple episodes to do.
The pacing is excellent, and that has everything to do with having. I mean, however you feel about Len Weissman, he's a professional, all right,
Mm-hmm.
and James Wan and Mark Verheiden, who was again behind Ash vs. Evil Dead. These are all people who know how to pace things. And Ash vs. Evil Dead, even though it had problems in season 3, they were minor. The one thing it did not ever have a problem with is pacing. Like, it moved the story along, and it's almost like they all learned from the Sam Raimi school of pacing. And I know Sam Raimi has the black mark of
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
3.
3, but I pretty much like, yeah, except for the Wizard of Oz. I like 90% of his work. I think he's kind of a genius. He's got a couple turds out there, so what? But I mean, I
I
love
mean, that's
Drag
gonna
Me to Hell.
happen.
I love Drag Me to Hell. That's one of my favorite movies. But I would love to see him come back. But it seems like they're doing it in that aesthetic, which I love, which is perfect. So yeah, I think it's worth getting a few bucks, getting the DC streaming service, and just kind of look at it as you're buying a Blu-ray or something, and just watch Swamp Thing.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, you're not just getting just Swamp Thing too. They have a lot of their animated stuff on there, which DC's animated stuff is some of the best animated out there.
Young Justice, yeah, and they got
Yeah,
the third part of Young Justice coming out later
yeah,
in the year.
and Hush is coming out. The animated adaptation for Hush, so that should be pretty good.
Animated Harley Quinn is coming out.
What's that?
Animated Harley Quinn show. So
Oh
after
yeah, the Harley
Swamp Thing,
Quinn. I'm not sure how I feel
Harley
about
Quinn.
that. We'll
I'm
see.
not either.
Like I mean, I feel like I'm getting Harley Quinned out. They just announced
Well,
some like new Black Label.
They're about to completely destroy the character, which honestly is played
Birds of
out anyway.
Prey.
Yes, because everybody wants to see Harley Quinn for her mind. That's it.
Yeah, you gotta avoid that male gaze,
I'll just say right now, I hated the costume change to her her Lady of the Night. I'll say costume.
Yeah,
I like her Paul Dini costume. I think that.
I think most people like that costume. I mean, it's a Harlequin costume.
Yeah, the other one is the Hot Topic one, and now that's not okay. So she'll be wearing like a black jumpsuit with the armor. She'll look like Black Widow did in Endgame.
Yeah, I mean, did you watch? So if you watch like Batman Assault on Arkham, the animated, I think they do a good job with that costume. It's like kind of a combination between it shows a little bit of her midriff, so it's not the full like classic costume, but it's got it's got like she's got the jester head at least, and then it's like the black and red all the way down, and with like pants, which I think that costume is actually really good.
I was looking for that picture. I can't find it now. I saw a picture, at least I thought I did, of Ian Ziering as the Blue Devil, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I just imagined it.
Well, they have the poster of him from the first episode, I think.
Yep.
He's there.
He's supposed to be like in the costume, and it was supposed to be fused to his body, but maybe that did get cut out. That would suck.
I mean, we're gonna have to start. There are gonna be fan petitions. Release the Swamp Thing cut. Release the full cut.
Yeah, we need enough people to watch it because this is actually a show that I think HBO should think about picking up.
I mean, definitely. I mean, they're doing that Watchmen adaptation, which I'm still kind of skeptical.
I'm super skeptical about that.
Yeah, so I think people are calling the bug guy. They're calling him the Black.
The Black. Okay.
Yeah, that's what Chris Persa says in the comments here. Super pumped to see them tease the Black.
And that's probably what they're teasing. Are we getting? Oh, okay. Yeah, he's going to be the Floronic Man. Hopefully, we get all this stuff.
Well, yeah, I think we're definitely supposed to get the Floronic Man, but that's definitely a different character from this Black character, because the Floronic Man actually tries to take control of he tries to become the champion of the green as well.
I'm going to go to the DC wiki. All right. The Black, or the Rot, is a force which is strongly associated with death. The decay and rotting of living things is where it flourishes. In other words, a swamp. With its base being in the Bone Kingdom and in the Badlands of the United States. As such, it works in opposition to life forces such as the red and the green, like the other elemental forces of its kind. The Rot is guarded by a parliament or a parliament of decay. Each member of this parliament is a former avatar of death. There you go. Good old DC Comics. Got to keep it simple, man. Red, blue, green. Freaking Saturn Girl. I love DC. I really do.
No, yeah, dude, I'm a huge DC. I mean, it definitely sounds like that's what they're doing. Although I'm not sure if that was. I mean, it sounded like Swamp Thing had control over it because he basically just says, what did he say? He said, "Leave him," and then he just
Yep.
which so that was interesting because you would think that if it was, I mean, if it was more like this kind of rot, like they would kind of, like he says, fight back, but it didn't fight back at all, or maybe it did, and it just was like, oh, I'll fight another day. I don't know.
Well, yeah, and that must be, oh God. Um, that's the thing with DC relaunching so much. I lose my eras all the time. Maverick MX is saying the red and the green were introduced in the new 52. So much shit was introduced in the new 52, and I want to forget most of it. But I liked 52, but I didn't like the new 52, and it honestly didn't sell very well in my shop. A lot of people were really pissed off about it. There were some good things, but
Well,
for the most part, people were not happy.
that's why they rebirthed it, right?
Yep. Which I liked a lot. Convergence, Rebirth, I thought that was brilliant, and I don't know what the hell they're doing now, but
yeah, I've kind of I've dropped off a little bit, but yeah, the rebirth stuff they were doing was fantastic.
I was first time in my life I was getting more DC titles than Marvel titles ever, and they were all pretty good, gotta say.
Yeah, so Chris Purse is talking about the rumors about like potentially doing a Justice League Dark after a third season of Swamp Thing. Did you hear about any of that stuff? I saw a little bit of it. I haven't dived into it yet, though.
Well, I know Matt Ryan already threw his hat in the ring wanting to be Constantine, which I'd be fine if they wrote him like the NBC one and not the CW one.
Yeah,
because I think he does play like a brilliant Constantine, but I don't think we've seen the last of Constantine. I don't even be surprised at all, ladies and gentlemen, if you see a sequel to the Keanu Reeves Constantine. They'd actually be stupid if they weren't asking him right now to do it. I know some people are like blah on that one. It's not Constantine. I understand that, but I didn't hate that movie. I actually kind of like
for what it was. I enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't the Hellblazer that we all know from the comics, but I mean, it was like, I mean, I thought it was a cool thing on its own.
I definitely thought even with Shia LaBeouf. So yeah, Kevin Durant, his character is playing the Floronic Man, and
yeah, that's Woodrow.
Yeah, he was in freaking. I was just trying to figure out is Jason Woodrow. I was trying to figure out what I've seen him in. It was he played the Blob in Origins Wolverine. I'm like, where do I know this guy from?
Yeah,
and he played the Blob.
So we were talking earlier about like good intentions gone bad with Woodrow, and I feel like I've been so I know you've been watching The Expanse, and I've been catching up on The Expanse season 3, and I feel like that's like a big thing, like that's a huge theme in their show, and it's actually one I'm surprised more people don't like really like delve into, trying to do good things, but like bad things happen, like good intentions actually lead to like negative outcomes.
That is it's not the newest style of writing, but it's very much in the vein of Game of Thrones when it's good. It shows it's writing, it's subverting expectations without nihilism. Okay, so it still gives you a hero's journey and all the basic stuff of storytelling. It just does it with different characters. It flips it around. It shows good people in the service of bad people, which Game of Thrones did great. Like you had the Onion Knight with Stannis. And arguably, I mean, people do like Stannis, but he's not the nicest guy in the world. But he's got this like super nice guy in the Onion Knight, really loyal guy working for him, And yeah, there's good people who work for the Lannisters, and it shows, and that's what Game of Thrones was supposed to deliver on, and really didn't. You're supposed to like have two of your favorite characters fighting each other. They did it at the end, but that's what The Expanse does as well, and it shows especially in the beginning with Holden, in The Expanse, when he decides to blab everything. I won't say what it's about. That is a really hardcore consequence to it. that he still doesn't feel bad about, but it pisses pretty much everybody off. But it
Oh, it's
did
led
save
to
his
so
friend.
many, and it's led to so many different like things too. Um,
Lots of bad things too.
yes, lots of bad
Lots
things.
of very bad things. But that's yeah, that's complex, good storytelling, and that's when not subverting expectations. Kind of, it's just more. We're going to take a little different path on this journey, but we're still taking the same journey. Like we're still going to show a hero, and he's going to do hero stuff, but it just might not be the way you think and the guy or girl you think. But it's still at the end, it still can be an inspiring story. Which I like. I think that's good, and that's what we're getting out of this. I'm trying
Yeah,
to figure out who wrote this episode, because these people are. I don't want to hear like a billion-dollar corporation whining about like spending too much money on a TV show. Um, then
I think those I just don't buy that crap at all. Like I just don't buy that. I just don't.
no, it's bullshit. Listen, they want to do this stuff as cheap as possible, and Bruce Campbell. And sorry if you've heard this before, people, but it's very important that I heard this from an actor in Hollywood who's worked in genre, and he was doing a Q&A for Evil Dead, and somebody asked him if he would ever do like an MCU movie. He's like, no. He's like, no. I'm kind of sick to death. I don't like working in front of green screens, and that's why he liked to work with Raimi, because there was a lot of practical effects and stuff. But it he said that the second Hollywood can capitalize on something that's not superhero and genre, the producers will run from it because it's so expensive and so risky. Um, but the payoffs, they got to look at the payoffs. Look at the payoff from Game of Thrones. Whether you liked or hated the end, that was it had record ratings. It People can get more involved in the story because it's more escapism. Like, a Swamp Thing could be that. It could be, I don't think it could be at Game of Thrones level, but it could certainly be at like Deadwood level, Sopranos level.
Yeah. We were
Like,
talking about that last week. Like, I mean, this show is so good. It's already creating a loyal fan base that people were already pissed off that they were canceling it after the first episode.
yep. And usually it takes the normies and the general public like seasons to get in the show. But even when a show starts out, it's generally episode 4 and 5 when it finds its feet. People have committed. They're like, okay, it's been good for 3 episodes. I'm sticking with it. And I've seen that in covering a lot of TV on my channel. You can just kind of tell when people check out of a show or where they really start to buy in.
Right, yeah.
The buy-in on this one was early. The problem is it's behind a paywall. If this wasn't behind a paywall, there would be everybody be talking about this. Everybody.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's like if this was on the CW, like it would. I mean, it would be blowing records. It would be destroying Supergirl and Arrow and all of them.
If you all out there, if you want to support something good, give the finger to something bad, support the Swamp Thing. It's giving the finger to the woke MCU, and they're building a universe that even with the crappy Titans, I can buy into. The Titans can be fixed.
Oh
It can
yeah.
easily be fixed. Doom Patrol was mostly pretty damn good. Mostly like pretty damn good and really, really loyal, accurate to the spirit of the comic book, like completely. So there's something really good happening here. We need to support it.
Yeah, I mean, and the stuff that I'm seeing from Stargirl, like that costume that Breck, what's her name, Basinger's wearing, Kim's daughter. I mean, that is just super comic accurate, especially after like the Titans costumes with Starfire. But yeah, I mean, it looks cool, and they're already like tying it in with Doom Patrol. I don't know if anyone saw, but there was a leaked set photo that shows like Rita Farr, like doing this biopic, like movie poster. I mean, they're already like tying it in, and then they're doing like JSA there. So I mean, there's a lot of like, there's a lot of like I think they had a lot planned out. I mean, I think that rumor about Justice League Dark. I mean, I totally buy into that. I mean, that's one of the characters. I mean, there's so many characters there that have so much potential. We're talking about these dark characters, and I think I'm surprised, like especially with like all of the Times Up stuff. Like, I mean, you have Zatanna sitting there, like She's probably one of the top DC characters there is.
Yep. Paul Dini's mid to early aughts,
I got it on my shelf right here.
right before 52, man. That was one of the worst casualties of this is 52, not New 52, 52. They canceled that right, or was it New 52? Yeah, right around there. I was so pissed. I mean, it was just one of the best comics I've ever read. Yeah, I've actually, I can almost reach mine. I have mine within reach. I don't buy trades though. I hate trades. So I buy those boxes that you put all the comics in, and then you can put
Yeah.
your own cover in and put it on a bookshelf. That's what I do. I don't like trades. But I
I'm
sell them.
kind of, I mean, I get that. I'm moving away. I mean, I feel like just the way they're written now, it's just like what's the point of buying the single issues? I can just go buy the trade. It's
Oh,
cheaper and it looks better on my bookshelf.
hey, in the shop I'm opening, I'm not even going to sell new floppies. I'm a total hypocrite, but I'm not.
I
There's no
mean,
reason to.
no, I mean, from what I understand, the comic shop owners I talked to, if they weren't doing back issues, they would be out of business.
Yep. Which means a lot more comic stores could go out of business because so many comic shops just relied on trades and new releases, which was just terrible. I tried to make God, almost 40% of my business was collectibles and toys. Thank God. So and back issues and
Yeah,
really well on new releases, but I don't know. But you can't do that anymore. Not anymore. It's done.
yeah. I mean, and you're in San Fran. I don't know where you're. Are you going to open the shop in San Francisco?
Probably not.
Okay,
If I do, I'll do a pop up temporarily, but no, I'm not going to do a permanent brick and
right.
mortar shop here. I'm kind of done with this
Yeah,
place.
yeah. I heard the real estate prices are.
Yeah, I'm going to sell my house. I'm going to get the hell out of Dodge as soon as I can. So, probably about like a year. But man, no, I can't wait to get the hell out of here, man. I really can't stand it.
I just hear all the bad stories. Like I just like the app that they have with there's like the stuff you can track on the app of to places to avoid, and it's like basically every street corner.
Mhm.
I'm just like, I don't even know if would ever want to go there just to like visit the city.
I rarely like leave my house, and I don't go downtown at all anymore. Like I can't even remember last time I went downtown.
But a place I would visit, and this is what I don't understand. So I was in Ireland last year for my honeymoon,
Nice.
and delayed. It was a delayed honeymoon, but it was awesome. But like the big thing there is, and I didn't even go up to Northern Ireland. I did down in the southern part where they filmed Star Wars, and that's like a huge tourist attraction. And I just don't even understand like I was even thinking like I would want to go to this fictional town of Murray in in North Carolina. I would go there. That just seems like a cool place to visit. Like if they have if like I assume that bars probably has to be. I mean, maybe it's a set piece, but it could be real. I know the bars they use in the Marvel TV shows on Netflix. Those are real. You can go visit them in New York. Like so, I mean that's just. I mean, I just feel like there's like a huge missed opportunity there.
There probably is, and you're probably missing a good. Well, weren't they shooting there for a while? I think they were. It's all about the tax rebates. That's why they were shooting in North Carolina and not Louisiana
So,
for the
so I
Swamp Thing.
Yeah, so I don't think it's the tax rebates. They get a $12 million grant. North Carolina actually has like their movie and TV production. Their maximum grant that they give each TV show is $12 million, and the director of the North Carolina Department of Film, I think, he said that they gave them $12 million, and they knew full well like that was the max that they were getting. All that stuff about the $40 million like tax rebate from that
Total
Olsen
bullshit.
guy, yeah, that guy was just full of crap.
Total bullshit. They listen. The first story was true. The first story was right. And you are a journalist. You know that. So what happened when this whole thing went down is before they could block any information coming out. So there's a guy who works at a local. I'm building a story here. I don't know this for a fact, but this is what it looks like. The guy who works for the local town newspaper knows guy who works on set. Guy who works on set goes, dude, I just lost my job, man. Like they're making us shut down the show. we can't shoot the last 3 episodes, and it's because they're reevaluating the streaming service. And that's what the story ran with, and that's what I ran with. That was the first thing, and then all of a sudden, all the revision starts happening, and they start saying, "No, no, no, everything's fine." And then it goes, "Well," and then we're canceling the show, but everything's still fine. DC streaming, great. We're adding. They did an update. They would say, "Hey, we did an update to the app." Of course, you want it to actually work before you close it down. And this is how full of crap Hollywood is, and we try to bust. That's why they hate YouTube, because because we're human beings. We can see through this crap. It's like, duh, AT&T just bought you. It's a redundancy.
Yeah, and then I think the biggest thing to like push that, to back that up, is the Virginia Madsen's, I think it was an Instagram post
Yeah.
that she deleted like almost instantly. But
Yes.
she was so pissed. She was not happy at all after she found out about that. So and then you also had the Twitter post from Crystal Reed. She usually, like, I looked through her Twitter. She like basically doesn't ever tweet. When the Swamp Thing came out, she tweeted a picture of herself and was like feeling rebellious or whatever. Which I was like, okay, this is total, like, she's totally signaling here.
Yeah, if I was them, I'd just blab out like, yeah, it's an NDA, so what? I mean, like, this might be your only chance to make it. Like,
Yeah,
Virginia, you know why Virginia Madsen's pissed? It's like, I haven't starred in anything in quite a while, and this was my chance to essentially be a star of a show, of a lead show that's a genre show that's really exciting and cool, and they freaking cut me off because they're playing, corporate billionaire games. Like, this show was going to lose money no matter what, because you're starting a streaming service. You should be prepared to lose money. And it just shows
yeah.
you
Disney's gonna lose like 40, like, I don't know, what is it? I forget what it is, but they're losing. They're gonna
billions.
lose billions of dollars to launch Disney Plus because they're pulling all their licensed stuff from Netflix. Like, I mean, yeah, of course you're gonna lose money. So that's why that crap, just, I hate that. Just was just garbage. It's such a garbage narrative, and I like you said, we don't buy it because we see through it, because it doesn't
It's
add up.
dumb. Listen, if you're a streaming service and you have to put your shows on other streaming services to help pay for your streaming service, then your streaming service isn't going to work. DC streaming had to put Titans on Netflix. Well, why would I get DC streaming if I can see Titans on Netflix and I don't give a crap about the comics and all the other stuff? So, and that's most people, unfortunately. I thought it was a great idea, but yeah, a CBS All Access has to have stuff on Amazon Prime, and it's like, they're not healthy. If they're healthy, they're doing what Disney does. Yeah, you take it in the shorts a little bit. You make it the only place to watch your stuff anywhere. No
Yeah.
physical media, nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the
I
only
mean,
way it's going to work.
and I feel like DC was doing that here with this. I mean, they had what they have at least 6 stuff. It's not going to be as big as like Disney Plus. They don't have it as fully fleshed out, which might be a little short sighted on their end. But they did announce like 6 original shows for the streaming service. Like, they were building it up. And I mean, who's to say, like, I mean, I don't know. You could have just like rebranded your DC universe to whatever you want to do with Warner. But like, I don't, just shutting it down is just, I don't know. And you're, like you said, it is redundant. If they're going to launch a Warner one, you would just have them all in the same one.
Yep. And they haven't announced anything past Titan season 2, so that tells you when it's going to end. And that's pretty much when your 15-month thing runs. My 15-month thing runs out. Which, yeah, oh well. So let's get to the chat. But well, back to Swamp Thing. What a goddamn good show! I'm really freaking pissed it's going to get canceled, and I don't think it's going to get saved because it's too damn expensive. And once the actors walk and the sets start getting broken down, that's kind of it. I was part of the Save the Expanse thing, and they had a very short window to save the show, and they did it within like a couple weeks. And that's it. They start breaking down sets. My God, I'm so glad that got saved, because they were going to take the sets and give them to Star Trek Discovery, which would have been just terrible.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm loving The Expanse. But yeah, Swamp Thing, I mean, like we said, the only big issue we had was they kind of emasculated Avery. He's not the real powerful guy that we thought he was. I mean, he has like a mask of power, I guess, because he's still like manipulating politics. But his that veneer has kind of faded away, as he has like a ton of skeletons in his closet.
No, it's this whole thing, that female Alfred thing. There's absolute truth to that story. And I don't care if there's denials about it or not, but it is absolutely goes along with the narrative of Hollywood right now, which is, oh, we'll still give you the white male leads, but we're going to make sure there's a powerful woman behind them at all times. Don't be surprised Superman comes back. It's not going to be Jor-El. It's good. It's God
Well,
damn it.
did you see what they were pitching? What Mark Millar and the guy who did the first Kingsman was pitching? Did you see their pitch for
I heard
Superman?
they have a pitch. I didn't know what it was, but
It was not. They were pitching that Superman is going to grow up on Krypton, and he's going to like have to like have conflicting values between Earth and Krypton.
see, I love Mark Millar, but not on like Superman. No, I like most of his work when he
Yeah,
does his own stuff. When he does his own stuff, because he's a bit of a nihilist and stuff, and he's better on that. Not Superman. No, Superman should be done by Brad Bird. Um, Somebody who's squeaky clean, like goddamn Spielberg. I'm in his prime, not right now. Superman should be done by somebody who still believes in good in people. And Hollywood's so damn jaded, they don't even know what to do with Superman. It's really kind of funny to watch him. We need some young blood to come in and do Superman.
I mean, you did you read Max Landis's American Alien?
No, I didn't.
I mean, it's there. The script's there. It's already in comic book form, and you already have a Hollywood director who wrote it up.
Max Landis is nuts, but I like some of his work. I definitely loved Bright. I dug it so much. I thought that
Oh,
was so good. I
with
watch it all the time.
that's Will Smith,
Will
right?
Smith, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I can't wait for the second one. I mean,
I
I like
loved
Bright
every
too.
second of that, man. I thought it was so good. I would have seen that in theaters 4 times, but oh well, it's on Netflix. I
Yeah.
got lucky with that one. Oh, but yeah, I got to run here pretty soon. Got to get ready
Okay.
for my
Yeah.
show. But
So, do
like,
you want to?
oh, go on.
Yeah. I was like, all right. So, I just want to end. Like, what was your favorite scene from this episode?
Oh, absolute favorite scene was the Rot taking on the Swamp Thing, and it looked like they were about to fight, and Abby like hits him in the back
With that axe?
with an axe. But then you see the spirit of Alec in Swamp Thing, and he sees the guy he killed that he still feels bad for, that who would have killed him, and he
Yeah.
releases his soul. And it showed that kindness right there. I thought that was just unbelievable. I'm like, God damn, that was the Swamp Thing. That's it right there.
Yeah.
uh you basically have this like really good person in this horrific body, and it really did it. And yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just enjoy and savor this.
I mean, I might have to. I'm definitely gonna rewatch it. But yeah, I think that was my favorite scene too. And then like just that, like kind of the follow up to that, where I think he's just like, "Who am I?" To
Yep,
Abby, and then they were like, we're gonna work together to find out." And I was just like, "Yeah." I mean,
that was so cool.
that was the soul of the show right there.
I want to own this on Blu-ray. I want the soundtrack. I want a 1/6 scale Hot Toys Swamp Thing. I want to give them money. I want to give them money. Uh,
Yeah.
but it made me want to, like, I'm going to reread Swamp Thing for the first time in freaking years because of this.
Where are you gonna start off? What are you gonna start with?
I'm going to read some of the Bernie Wrightson stuff. I've got like some of the early stuff. I have his first appearance. So yeah, I'm going to go start there and then work my way up to Alan Moore. Because it's basic. I mean, it's pretty basic storytelling up until then,
Right.
until
Yeah.
Alan Moore turns it on its head. But it's good storytelling now.
All right. So, what do you have coming up?
I have. Sorry, hang on. Is this your favorite out of the 3 DC streaming shows? It is for me, even though I love Doom Patrol. Kaylee, it's my favorite. Yes, by far, like leaps and bounds. It's kind of one of my favorite shows right now. That's how good it is. So what I have next in about an hour, I'm going to do Friday Night Tights.
And what is that?
That is my Friday weekly live stream that comics division comes on and joins me. And then sometimes we'll bring other people in. I'm going to see if Josiah Rises. He's going through some issues right now. I'm going to see if he can come on because I haven't had a chance to talk to him today. Then I do a Monday, Wednesday day live stream. I'll be pumping out some videos this week, or maybe not. I don't know. I got to redo my office. So I might be kind of busy dusting, actually boring stuff, rewatching Swamp Thing. How about you? What do you got coming out?
So next week we'll be on your channel reviewing episode 4. I think it's like The Darkness Rises or something like that. Is the title? I'm not. I think it's something like that. And then next week we will be Comic Vigilante is our Wednesday weekly that we do 9:00. It's me and my sometimes co-host Jorge Arenas. And we don't have a guest yet, but we're working on lining some folks up. So we'll see. We usually talk with the guests. We've had Chuck Dixon on before. This past week we had Chris Majais, former Funimation executive. So we get some pretty good guests, and we chat with them about what they're working on and what's happening in pop culture and what their thoughts are on it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, there is a petition to save the Swamp Thing. It might not be the only one.
I think there's a couple.
We need to focus on one, people.
Yeah.
Because one's got like 200. That's not gonna save it. I hope we can save the show. But cool. Cool. Well, I'll be reading. I'm actually going to be reading some of your articles tonight on my live stream. So yeah.
Ooh, give a tease. Which ones? William Shatner?
Sure. The William Shatner one. The Harley Quinn one, and then your Men in Black one.
Okay, that's the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah, that's
gonna or the Tessa Thompson.
Tessa Thompson one is older, but it's old news. It was like 3 days ago. But we do a kind of a roundup of the week's news.
Yeah, you want to. She talked with the AP too, so you might want to. Her AP comments were a little more juicier. We missed those.
I'll look at that. Yes, definitely. And then we're going to cover the Mary Sue's Harley Quinn male gazy. Thing.
Gosh.
I found an old article from a month and a half ago from the Guardian on why they're asking the question why comic shops are closing, and I thought it was very interesting that made the Guardian. And
they covered Comicsgate.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Did they? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not nicely.
No, not at all.
And then I'm gonna kind of go into an editorial spiel about how movies are dying. Like I mean, the Men in Black sucks, but it goes deeper than that. I think Hollywood has actually pissed a lot of people off, and the Marvel movies are hiding some of that. I think.
Yeah, I totally Marvel and the Pixar movies. It's pretty much what keeps it box office afloat.
Yep, and not for long. Right on.
Yeah. So Gary will be. When does your Friday Night Tights start?
About an hour.
All right, so Gary will be on his channel. Is it on your channel?
Yep.
We'll be on his channel in about an hour for Friday Night Tights. You should tune in. I'll be watching. It'll be fun. And be back here, or we'll be on Gary's channel next week to review Swamp Thing episode 4.
Yes.
So thanks everyone for joining us. It was great chatting with y'all. And we'll see you next week.
Take care.